What's up, man? If you're anything like me, you're probably not huge into vaping, but you have friends that vape, family that vape, and you may have tried it once or twice, but you don't really understand what it is or why it's even attractive. I found a video that's gonna help me out, and hopefully it helps you out too. Let's check it out, man.
Vaping is kind of amazing. Finally, a less bad alternative to smoking. It delivers one of the most popular drugs in the world, nicotine. It may improve your attention, concentration, memory, reaction time, and endurance. It can reduce anxiety and stress and help you relax and enhance your mood. Nicotine also suppresses hunger, making it easier to maintain or lose weight. And it's simply fun to put a thing in your mouth and get a little kick. Compared
Wait a minute. Hey, look here. I ain't know they was going. I ain't know they was going to go that route. It's kind of fun to put something in your mouth and get a little
And
kick.
it's simply fun to put a thing in your mouth and get a little kick. Compared to other
Okay.
stimulants, nicotine's effect doesn't come at the same high price for our bodies. It's also crystal clear that vaping is way less harmful than smoking. Smoking delivers,
Crystal
well,
clear.
hot smoke and extremely toxic particles directly into your lungs, causing serious damage all over your body right away. But we'll purely focus on nicotine vapes in this video. Okay, sure, nicotine is one of the most addictive substances we know, but vaping on its own seems kind of okay. So, is it really that bad if you do it?
I mean,
Well,
it's
we should
gotta be
find out
something,
quickly.
though.
While in the West, smoking is slowly falling out of fashion, especially among teens, vaping has become a growing epidemic. In 2023, in the UK, 20% of children had tried vaping at least once. In the
Children?
US, 8% of all students are currently vaping regularly. 1 in 4 of them do it daily, and almost all of them use vapes with flavors. So how does vaping work, and what does it do to your body? How does vaping work?
This is
A
interesting,
vape
people.
is basically a small tank of liquid heated up by a metallic coil that vaporizes it. The major ingredient in most vape juice is propylene glycol and glycerol, the main chemicals in smoke machines, which are also used in countless chemical processes. From food like candy and baking mixes to cosmetics, paints, or plastics. Then there are the nicotine salts containing the magic and dozens of different flavor molecules. When you pull on a vape, the
That's a
metal
lot
coil heats
going
up
into
and
one
turns the
thing.
liquid into the vapor you inhale. Vapor sounds
How
kind
are
of
you
nice,
supposed to fight
harmless,
that?
and pleasant. But vapes don't produce actual vapor, but a heated mist of aerosol. A warm, sticky substance made out of large molecules and microscopic particles mixed with air. The best thing to compare it to is inhaling warm body spray. When you take a hit, billions of aerosol particles cover your mouth and
Inhaling warm body spray. That's the best thing that he just said it's like inhaling warm body spray. Have you ladies, if you're doing your hair, have you ever gotten your hairspray in your mouth? And you're like, "Nah." Now what if that hairspray tasted like raspberries or strawberries or snozberries? You know what I'm saying? Like what if it tasted attractive? Would you still feel the same type of way? That's outrageous.
tongue, making you taste pleasant stuff and enter into your lungs. They reach your alveoli, little air sacs where the breathing happens. Here, the nicotine passes into your bloodstream and is transported into your brain to cause all the pleasant effects. And here, the complications begin.
Mm.
What's actually in your vape? The scary answer is that we don't really know. Studies found that vape liquids can be thousands of very different mixes of many dozens
Down in the bottom right corner, they have a list of, I guess, sites that did studies.
of substances. The majority were not even mentioned on the label. This
Mm.
seems almost unbelievable, but the vaping industry is much less regulated than you'd think. We know that many official substances in vapes are technically safe. Kinda. They're used in cosmetics, medicine, or food, and have been extensively tested. Most are safe to eat or put on your skin.
This is kind
But
of
that's not
sketchy,
the same
people.
as breathing them in. Cinnamaldehyde found in cinnamon oil kills cells and causes genetic damage when inhaled. Benzaldehyde
Wait a minute. I can die from a cinnamon roll, is what you're telling me? A cinnamon roll can take me out. I thought it was just the sugar in the cinnamon roll that could take me out. Now it's the actual cinnamon. Bro.
found in almonds or apples has a fruity taste and is common in cherry, berry, chocolate or mint-flavored vapes. As a gas, it irritates the respiratory tract. What's worse is that we don't know what many substances in vape juice do if heated up. The longer you inhale and the hotter the core gets, the more chemicals in the juice change. Molecules merge or break down, creating new compounds with unknown consequences. When propylene glycol and glycerol are heated too much, they decompose and turn into harmful molecules. This can happen when the liquid runs out or the core gets too hot. You'll probably notice this because your vape will taste weird or burnt. If this happens, you should stop right away. And it gets worse. When the metal core is heated up, it releases metal particles. Studies found aluminium, boron, calcium, iron, copper, magnesium, zinc, lead, chromium, nickel, and manganese in the vapor, all of which vary from really bad news to straight up toxic and can cause lung irritation, chronic bronchitis, and shortness of breath in the short term. Nickel can also cause cancer when breathed in. All of these mystery substances also.
Listen, if you're still here watching this video and you're trying to gain information about vaping, please understand the reason why I don't do it is because there's just little things that I think about that's like, it just doesn't make sense to me. It's an oil, technically, that you heat up and then breathe in, period. Your lungs are, like he said, the alveoli. I probably said that wrong. I'll run it back. Those little air sacs, those little pockets in your lungs, that oil gets right in there. How is any of that? How is any of that good for you?
Interact with each other in
Other
new
than
and
the good
exciting
feeling for
ways.
the moment.
In bad ways? We don't know yet. What do we know about the health effects of vaping? What does vaping do in your body? The elephant in the room is that we don't know exactly how bad vaping is, since it's only been around for about 10 years.
There's a lot
Also,
of I don't
most
knows
studies on
coming out
health
of this
effects in
video.
humans focused on smokers who switched to vapes. We do know for sure that smoking is orders of magnitude more harmful. If you smoke, switching to vaping will reduce your
I don't know, bro. I'm starting to feel some type of way about the fact you keep pushing how bad smoking cigarettes is, but you don't know how bad vapes are.
risk of disease massively. If you smoke, please switch to vaping. But
Please switch to vaping? All right, man. I'm gonna let this
these
video
studies
finish.
also muddy the water a bit. What if you never smoked and started to vape? In the short term, a significant portion of vapers develop poor breathing symptoms, coughing, extra mucus production, shortness of breath, wheezing, throat and chest pain. But the truth is, we simply don't know what will happen in the long term.
There's a lot of
The first larger scale study on vaping with non-smokers only started in 2024. It'll take years before we can say anything with confidence. We can make careful assumptions, but take them with a grain of salt. Your lungs are made from very sensitive tissue and were never meant to deal with trillions of aerosols, chemicals, and metals. What goes into your lungs generally stays in them forever, which is why smokers' lungs are dark and dirty. It seems that vaping activates the immune system, which tries to clean up the aerosols. This causes inflammation and fluid seeps into the lungs, while the cells guarding their entry produce extra mucus you have to cough out. Some of them may even die.
So now you have your lungs working extra. Look, real quick. I don't want anyone to think that I've not smoked. My choice was the stickiest of the icky. That was my choice. That was my go-to for years. Like just about 2 decades, bro. Like that was my thing. Um, I didn't know that at the time I was coping with a lot of issues that today are different. Like people understand what's going on, but at the time I was just self-medicating, bro. A lot of the things, I don't like to say that I have any ADHD or any type of autism. I don't like to say that. I don't like to put that on myself. But that does not mean it might not be true, right? But during those times I was self-medicating. The amount of smoke and stuff that you put into your lungs is harmful. I knew that at the time, but that feeling just felt better than knowing that my lungs were going to crap. Now I can breathe a little better. I can jog a little bit. I went for a jog this morning, but what I'm saying is you don't know the effect that this liquid has on your body. And they're saying that they don't know. I'm finding that hard to believe. He probably doesn't know, but the people who are making this, they know.
Vaping also may cause stress all over your body. It may increase your heart rate and blood pressure, lower blood oxygen, or stiffen and clog up your blood vessels. It may create oxidative stress, which has all sorts of bad effects on your organs and may potentially cause many different diseases over time. Does this increase your risk of strokes, heart diseases, lung diseases, or cause cancer? Again, we don't know. Maybe it causes damage, but something else will kill you before vaping does. Maybe
What?
it will make you sick. But all we have right now is maybe. We're conducting one of the largest medical experiments in
sketchy,
history. If you are vaping, you're a test subject.
Yes.
Too much of the
Yes.
wonder drug.
Yes. If you're
What's
vaping,
new
you're a
about
test
vaping
subject. Yes.
is the sheer amount of nicotine it delivers into your system. For most people, it's kind of hard to smoke 20 plus cigarettes a day because smoking is pretty harsh. As vaping is less aggressive and doesn't smell bad, you can do it inside and constantly for hours. It's easy to go through an entire vape a day. They shower your brain in extremely high nicotine doses, which makes them extremely addictive. For teens, this may be very bad. During your teenage years, your brain is developing and your nicotine receptors are especially active. They're directly linked with your reward system and thus how you feel about yourself and your life. Nicotine may change brain development by overstimulating the nicotine receptors. Again, the science is pretty annoying here with loads of caveats. Nicotine in teens has been linked to cognitive deficits, hyperactivity, reduced impulse control, deficits in attention and cognition, and mood disorders. But there's a chicken and egg problem. Did nicotine cause this, or are people with a tendency for emotional dysregulation just more likely to use it? There have been studies that suggest nicotine is a gateway drug, making it more likely to develop other addictions. But this has been largely rejected. Instead,
Addiction is
it
the
seems
gateway
people who are
drug,
generally
people.
more likely to take risks tend to do more risky things. They're more likely to get addicted to smoking, alcohol or cannabis, hard drugs or gambling. This doesn't make vaping any less addictive, it just means that it's probably not the cause of other addictions. Where the science is pretty solid is that most people have a bad time when quitting nicotine. Nicotine is one of the most addictive substances we know and comes with a wide range of really unpleasant physical withdrawal symptoms. You can be on edge and experience intense craving for nicotine, unpleasant mood swings and anxiety. You can have difficulty sleeping,
lot of
fatigue
this.
and headaches, and trouble concentrating. It can be harder to experience joy and to deal with stress, and it can make
It's harder to deal with joy because you've clogged up those receptors for the dopamine that your body naturally produces. So now there's an act or something that you do that it has attached itself to. And if you're not doing that, you're not going to get that feeling. Period. That's it. There's no other way to like really say it. Like,
depression worse. Without nicotine, your suppressed appetite comes back, and since some people compensate by eating more, they put on weight. All of this makes quitting nicotine extremely hard. On top comes psychological addiction that can be intense since vaping is extremely habit-forming. The good news is that these symptoms are entirely reversible. It takes about 72 hours for the nicotine to leave your body, and the worst withdrawal symptoms fade out or stop entirely
days.
in a few weeks. Conclusion. The problem with vaping is that it's too good. It tastes great, it's pleasant and stimulating, but it also
that sounds like marketing, people.
supercharges nicotine and makes it even more addictive. Every smoker who switches from cigarettes to vapes is a win for global health. But this is where the benefits end. Vaping has already hooked a significant portion of the younger generations to nicotine, and that's really bad news. It's kind of unfair to expect young people to resist vaping by providing information about how bad it is or might be. Scaring people straight is a bad strategy. If you're addicted to nicotine, you use it to fight stress. And if you stress someone out by telling them that the thing they use to fight stress is bad, they do the thing to fight the stress you're causing them. Basically, humans developed a new way to make one of the most addictive substances that was on the decline attractive to millions of teens by making it taste like bubblegum. Vaping is still very new, and we still have a chance to curb this new global addiction before it gets out of control.
Oh my God. Oh my
Making
God.
decisions that affect your health is hard enough, but it's impossible to base them on rational ground if you don't have reliable information available. Algorithms are constantly working behind the scenes to decide which information.
Okay. So, all right. Wow. I'm going to say wow. Wowzers. Bro, this to me now, right? That's what this this just sounded so sketchy. It sounded like a marketing campaign for vaping. It did. It sounded like he said switching from cigarettes to vaping is good for you. To anyone who's still here, still tuned in, and still watching, right? Have you ever seen a movie named Dread? Based off of Judge Dredd, came out in 1983. It was came out in the comic book. Now the first movie, Judge Dredd with Sylvester Stallone, came out in 1995. 6 years old. I saw that movie when I was like seven, maybe eight. Loved it. Loved it then. Then in 2012, right? Listen to this. This is why what I'm going to say next is why what I just watched is a little sketchy to me. In 2012, they released Dread. No Judge, just Dread. Dread. If you've ever seen that movie, there is a like it's like the year 21 something, 2130 something, something like that. Super long in the future. And there's a drug that they're addicted to. And I mean, they are addicted to it. They're just going crazy over it. And it's in a tiny inhaler. It's a little liquid. And it's so striking that it seems like vaping to me. Now, that movie came out in 2012, and I saw that movie because I thought it was like Judge Dredd Part 2, wasn't anything like it. Kind of similar, but not really. But watching that movie alone let me know that vaping was on the way. And then when vaping started, that's all I could think about was that movie. Now, if you've never seen that movie, everything I just said goes over your head and you have no idea what I'm speaking on. But if you just go watch clips, it's not about the violence, it's not about Judge Dredd shooting up all these people. It's the chemical substance that they were using in that movie. Just seems a lot like what vaping is for everyone now. And I mean, it was bad. And so because of that, that's how I've always looked at vapes. Now, I tried it. I tried vaping. I tried vaping when I was no longer by the by legally I wasn't allowed to do anything else. So I tried smoking cigarettes and then I tried a vape and didn't like either one of those. Um, and here we are, fast forwarding to 2025, and I know a ton of people that smoke. Vaping is a thing. Vaping is a thing. Some people, like you said, they do it because it tastes good. It's easy. It's light. It's all these things. But to me, all I envision is your lungs being coated in oil, and then when you cough and you wheeze and all these things, it hurts. It's it deterred me watching that movie and the way in which I see the world and things like that. Just watching that movie made me instantly think of vaping, and I just couldn't get into it. Now, as time progressed, I've watched vaping go from when they were trying to vaporize dry flowers. If anyone remembers that, that's around my age, when they started trying to make vapes to vaporize the dry flowers. Um, that didn't work, didn't taste good. A lot of people felt like you were ruining your dry flowers trying to get like it just didn't work. But they found a way to make it work, at least for some people. And if you're one of those people who vape, all I can say is he said a lot of stuff about how it's hard to fight it, but bro, dedication is key. Discipline is essential. Once you know that it's no longer good for you, you have to remember that every time you want to do it. You have to tell yourself that even if you say it out loud, you have to. That's the only way it's going to stop is through you. You have to discipline yourself, period. Otherwise, it's not going to happen. You'll keep making excuses and you'll keep doing it and you'll feel good about it because that's what it does. It makes you feel good. So I hope I didn't, scare too many people or come off sounding any other way than concerned. Just extremely concerned for the conditions of humanity because, bro, children, I've seen teenagers, and here in America, I have people who, tune in all over. Here in the States, they have found middle schoolers vaping in high numbers. Middle schoolers, bro, vaping. It's and what he said tripped me up was that they don't know anything or they don't know enough. Yo, I don't believe that one bit. Can't even sit here and kick you BS like that. I don't believe that one bit. They know way more than they're leading on. They know way more than they're leading on. And I mean, it's a good business, man. But one vape, that one vape that you have, there's 20 cigarettes in a pack. 20 cigarettes in a pack. That's why people used to buy a pack of cigarettes and then sell them for 25 cent, 50 cent because you would make more money back just selling them individually. But now that one pack, that one vape that you get, it's about anywhere from 30 on up cigarettes depending on the brand of vape you get. It's definitely a whole pack of cigarettes. And like you said, you can consume way more a lot faster. It's come on, man. Like all I say it all the time because I do it. Just do your research, people. Just do your research. I'm gonna get a hat that says "Do your research." Do your research, bro. Just do your research, bro. Like it's sad. But if you're still here and you tuned in and you watched, hopefully this video gave you more information. If you didn't have any, hopefully this didn't scare anyone or deter anyone. It's just passing along information, man. And I honestly didn't know a lot of things, but it's just a simplistic understanding of oils don't belong in your lungs as to why I just stay away from it. So maybe this helps you, maybe it doesn't, but I'm glad you actually stayed tuned. And if you made it this far, bro, you definitely are a champion in my book. And I'm just hoping the decision to stop and or not start is there. Now, show love to the channel because it's that time again. Show love to one another. Peace.
Perfect.